Hi, this is Misty Winters with Exposing Success. And this is episode number 5, I believe. I don't know. I'm losing track now. Actually, it might be 6. Anyway, that's a good thing. I'm losing track. That means I've done hard things because this was hard to get started. And it's embarrassing because not a lot of people are watching. But I'm going to keep doing it until somebody watches and it helps. Actually, I've had a couple people say it helps, but anyway, nothing life shattering, but I do feel strongly about doing things that contribute to having a good life. So, today we're going to talk about action eliminates anxiety. And I won't eliminate it 100%, but as a person that struggles with anxiety and constantly coming up with scenarios in my head of things that could happen, I'm here to tell you that if you do something about it, and also if you're just busy doing other things that are important, more important than sitting there worrying about it, then you either won't have time to be anxious, you will be doing something about what's making you anxious, so um, that will help it go away, and it just moves you in the right direction instead of just sitting around worrying about it. Just do things to keep it from actually happening or minimize it. So, story before we get started is this weekend I went surfing for the very first time in my entire life. I am 44, as I've said before, and I don't even, it wasn't even my idea, it was my husband's idea. My 12-year-old surfs. He's been surfing for about a year now, and he makes it look really easy. And of course, I knew I was going to be able to hop on as quickly as he did and do it as effortlessly. But I was like, I'm just going to give it a try. So my husband said, you should try it. And oddly enough, a lot of the things about surfing um, were the same as derby. So some of the stances that you want to kind of get low in the or loose in the knees and kind of get a lower stance so you're stronger. And there's a lot of balance. I mean, obviously you're balancing when you're on skates and taking hits while you're on wheels. You have to really have good balance. And then also um just like keeping your eye and focus on what you're doing, which I guess that's with every sport. But anyway, it was kind of interesting how there was a lot of similarities, even though they're totally different sports. Um, so that was kind of cool. So I thought, well, since there's a lot to do with balance, I'll probably be decent at it because I'm a good skater. So yeah, so I crashed and burned quite a few times, but I did catch one good wave. I got on the board a few times and made it a little ways in, but I could say, probably if I'm completely honest with myself, I caught just one good wave, all the way in where I could actually step off by choice and not get thrown off. But there was a couple times where I got thrown off and I was like, I don't know what's up, what's down, and I was just eating water for a minute. And then one of the times I fell off and I was so close to the shore that I actually scraped my knee on the sand, which who even knew that could happen? It was almost like a rug burn, but it's a sand burn. And it scraped a ton of skin off. It's pretty nasty looking. It's actually pretty painful. It kind of kept me up last night. I would move and the covers would ever so touch it, even with a bandage on, and so that doesn't feel good. And tomorrow's derby, so I have to put pads on over that and potentially fall and hit it. Ugh, just the thought of it makes me cringy, but it's part of being an athlete. So anyway, so let's get back to the subject of um, action eliminates anxiety. So whatever it is that you're anxious about, just do something that's going to help relieve that anxiety by taking action towards the anxiety. Like, I don't know. I should have thought of silly examples before I got this podcast going, but I actually find I do better to have like a topic in mind and then just kind of go with it versus making myself notes. That doesn't seem to be as successful because I forget to look at the notes anyway, and or me looking down a lot, it's not very successful. So anyway, so this is the way I'm doing it. I'm just coming up with a subject and kind of going with it. But so, like say you are anxious about having to do repairs on your house. Well, if you're anxious about that, then do the things to make it, do preventable things where you don't have to worry about that as much, and will kind of minimize the amount of repairs they have to have on the house. Like for instance, our house is cascaded with all these beautiful oak trees. They're incredible. However, with that comes a lot of debris on our roof. Well, you can't leave debris on your roof because it can actually cause wood rot and, holes or, other little things can happen from it. So anyway, mold, mildew, whatever, the whole list. So I have to climb up there because you're not really supposed to have a lot of weight up there. And I don't want to make my 12-year-old climb up on the roof. So I'm the next, person in the house that weighs the least. So I climb up there, depends on the season, but more often on, when stuff's fallen from trees, but pretty much throughout the whole year you have to do it. And it sucks, but it makes me not worry about, the quality of the roof. And roofs are $20,000-$30,000 to get fixed, if you have a big house. And that's pretty scary. So I can't do anything else about it other than do things to potentially eliminate major issues like that. And then if you're worried about your AC, we paid a lot of money for 2 new AC units, little less than 2 years ago. And so I do what I can do to maintain those. I change the filters, I pour the vinegar in the little nozzle thingy, whatever. I don't know the terms, but I do what I can do to maintain the AC units so that it will hopefully prevent any major issues. Will they break someday? Yeah, they're going to break. Actually, it's, crazy timing, but I do have an AC guy coming this week because there is an issue with one of them. There's some sort of leak in one of them. So brand new units, and that's just how it is. That's life. Things happen. And, same thing with your car. If you want to, prolong the life of your car and you don't want to have as many issues, like you're going to want to get the brakes changed before the brakes eat into the rotors. And you want to get the oil changed. And my son and me and my husband learned that the hard way. My son ignored the engine light and on the Jeep Wrangler, and there was absolutely no oil in it, and it burnt the engine, and it was completely done ski. And so we had to get a whole new engine, and that was thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's a prime example of just doing the things that you need to do so that you don't have to worry about, what could happen, the long-term effects of not maintaining things. Same thing with your body. If you're worried because like you or like me, diabetes runs in your family, well, what can I do about that? I can't change that these are the genes that I was given. There's nothing I can do about that. It is what it is. And am I going to sit around and be sad about it and worry about it? No, I'm not. I'm going to go do something about it. And that's what I do. I try to eat clean. I try to focus on, watching my caloric intake. Sorry, struggle there. And then I eat lots of protein. So it satiates me and I don't feel a lot of hunger throughout the day. Because I'm a little hungry girl. And so it's hard for me and a struggle for me. And I grew up eating, bad foods that I don't think we realized, our parents probably didn't realize things that we've learned now, by being educated, like sunscreen. I don't remember wearing sunscreen growing up, but now we know that that's very, very important. And so now I always carry around like 100 SPF with me at all time. Well, not at all times, but we're going to be out in the sun, for extended periods of time. I have it with me and make my kids wear it and spray it on me. And because we understand the importance of that, where, we didn't back in the day. So our parents fed us, the generation, the kids that grew up in the 80s and 90s, we ate Lucky Charms for breakfast, and, we're now realizing how terrible that is, but it also created really bad habits because you have that that craving for sugar. And, let's face it, it's not fun eating egg whites and a gluten-free muffin, as much fun as it is to eat a big bowl of Lucky Charms or Oops All Berries. But, you got to make grown-up choices, and you have to do the things to prevent, future potential bad things happening to you. So the way to eliminate anxiety is do something about it. If you're worried about something at work, a project at work, or, something like that, then do what you can do to get it done. And you can't do anything beyond that. All you can do is what you can do, but actually do it. Actually go and do the things you need to do. And don't procrastinate and push things off, and just get it done. And then you can sleep well at night. And then if you're sleeping well, you're actually more likely to lose weight that way too. So that's also good for you. So that's all I got for today. So action eliminates anxiety. Partially eliminates it. I do still have lots of anxiety, but I do what I can to keep it at bay. So have a great week, be blessed, and talk to you next time.